Do you hate Jewish people?
No, I don't.
Then why do you spew such hatred about them?
Well, I don't like what they've done. I don't like what their religion preaches. I don't like what's going on in Israel. I don't like their influence over our government. So...
What do you like about Jewish people?
I mean, I would say on average, they're more intelligent.
That's it?
I mean, I don't have too many. I mean, look, there's 2 billion Muslims, but everybody wants to, promote this anti-Muslim, this hatred for Muslim, like they're all, these terrorists. And I think the Israelis are the terrorists. I think they are the ones perpetuating the big acts of terrorism. And, nobody wants to talk about that.
And what do you say to Jewish people who may watch this and be utterly horrified by what they're hearing?
In this clip, things quickly heat up as Piers Morgan goes head-to-head with Dan Bilzerian in a tense exchange on Piers Morgan Uncensored. What starts as a tough interview turns into a sharp confrontation, with neither side backing down. We'll break down what was said, how it escalated, and what it all means. Watch to the end, and don't forget to subscribe for more.
They can be horrified. I mean, I was horrified to find that they mass murdered Christians. I was horrified to learn the things that they teach in the Talmud. I was horrified that they think that Jesus is burning in shit in hell. I was horrified that they think that the Virgin Mary is a whore. I was horrified to learn that they think it's okay to steal from Gentiles. I was horrified to hear that there's, 2 sets of justice. I was horrified to find out that they think it's okay to, gang rape Palestinian prisoners. I was horrified about all those things. I'm horrified that we're funding a genocide right now. So they can be horrified.
You're literally blaming Jewish people for almost everything that's happened that you don't like in the world. That is the purest personification of anti-Semitism right there. That's what it is.
Well, when you have a religion that promotes supremacy, when you have a religion that says that you are better than other people, and when you have a religion that says it's okay to steal from other people as long as they're not Jewish, when you have a religion that says it's okay to rape people that aren't Jewish, when you have a religion that talks about having sex with, kids that are under 3 years old, when you have a religion that promotes these things and promotes supremacy, I think you're going to have problems. And you see that in Israel. Israel is a manifestation of that religion. And I think that religion is, it's terrible. I don't believe in white supremacy. I don't believe in Jewish supremacy. I don't believe in supremacy at all. And right now, I think you have massive Jewish supremacy.
You sound like a Nazi.
I mean, why do you say that?
That's literally what Nazis would have said in World War II. They would have literally articulated their hatred of Jewish people and the reasons why in exactly the way you've just done.
I don't have a hatred for Jewish people.
You do?
I don't like a religion that says that they're better than other people. And what's that?
Well, you do. You obviously do. It's blatant. No one watching this will draw any other conclusion. I'm staggered about how brazen you've been.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't like it when people think they're better than other people. And you see that in Israel, and they're acting like that, and they're treating Palestinians like second-class citizens. They're treating them like subhuman beasts, and it sells that in their Talmud. So it says if you are not a Jew, that you are basically subhuman. And I don't think that Judaism and Christianity go hand in hand. I mean, they believe that Jesus is in hell burning in human shit, and they believe that the Virgin Mary is a whore. So I don't think those are two religions that really intersect very well. But we've been programmed that they do, and we've been programmed that it's okay and that Jews are the chosen people, and I just disagree with that. I think everybody's equal.
Do you even comprehend how this interview is going to play out when it airs?
When Dan Bilzerian tried to focus the discussion on reported civilian deaths and humanitarian suffering in Gaza, Piers Morgan repeatedly shifted the conversation back to Bilzerian's rhetoric. Instead of staying on questions about Israeli government policy or U.S. funding, the exchange became centered on tone and intent. Now, accountability matters. It's fair to challenge sweeping or inflammatory language, but it's also fair to scrutinize state actions, including military campaigns that, according to international reporting, have resulted in significant civilian harm. Criticizing a government's conduct is not the same as attacking an entire religion or ethnic group. Those are two very different conversations. What frustrated many viewers is that the humanitarian crisis itself never received sustained attention. In a democracy, we should be able to question foreign policy decisions, including support for Israel's leadership, while firmly rejecting anti-Semitism. When that balance collapses, the real issue gets buried under personal clashes instead of policy debate.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be bad. But, you know, my opinion is not politically correct, but I believe that is the truth.
You're living in Qatar now.
Well, that's where I'm at right now. I'm not living here, but visiting.
Right. Is it the case that you feel safer to spew this kind of stuff from Qatar than you would spewing it in the United States?
Well, I mean, I've had a lot of Jewish people attack me since I started standing up in support of Palestine. When I started saying things that were against Israel, I found that I had my Jewish business manager tried to extort me. I had lawyers do things that were illegal, and you know, I found a lot of, you know, just hatred from the Jewish community because I was speaking out against a genocide, and that really opened my eyes to what's going on.
You know why Jewish
people? Like I said, rarely is it the case that people on the right side of history are the ones that are trying to silence people.
Yeah, the reason Jewish people may dislike you is because of your obvious hatred for them and everything they stand for. I mean, you've literally spent the last 20 minutes on an anti-Semitic rant that makes Kanye look like a choir boy. I'm staggered, but also bemused as to what you think you'll gain from this, other than you're just laying bare your anti-Semitism for everyone to see.
I don't think I'm going to gain anything. I think it'll be horrible for me. But you know, it's what I believe. I don't think that Jews like Christians, and you see it when they, you know, killed them during the, you know, the Holodomor, the Bolshevik genocide. I mean, the Bolsheviks, the leadership was 84.
What you just watched on Piers Morgan Uncensored was more than a heated exchange. It was a collision between two very different narratives about Gaza. Dan Bilzerian came into that interview arguing that the scale of destruction in Gaza, widely reported by international media and humanitarian organizations, amounts to a moral crisis that demands accountability. He pointed to civilian casualties, displaced families, and ongoing U.S. financial support for Israel's military operations as central issues that deserve scrutiny. Piers Morgan chose to concentrate heavily on Bilzerian's language, framing it as discriminatory and dangerous. And let's be clear, rhetoric that targets Jewish people as a group is unacceptable and has no place in responsible political discourse. But there is also a crucial distinction between condemning anti-Semitism and shutting down criticism of the Israeli government's policies. Those are not the same thing. One protects a community from hate, the other protects a state from accountability. The United States has provided billions of dollars in aid to Israel over the years. That's documented. The humanitarian toll in Gaza, including thousands of reported civilian deaths, has also been documented by multiple international outlets. In a democracy, citizens are allowed to question whether that policy aligns with American values and international human rights standards. That's not extremism. That's oversight. What stood out in this exchange is how quickly the conversation moved away from policy specifics and into personal condemnation. Instead of sustained discussion about proportionality, civilian protection, or diplomatic alternatives, the debate became about character and intent. When that happens, the real-world consequences, the suffering on the ground, fade into the background. At Demo Newswatch, we believe two things can be true at once. Anti-Semitism must be rejected unequivocally, and governments, including Israel's and our own, must be held accountable for their actions. When media debates collapse those distinctions, viewers are left with outrage instead of clarity. So here's the bigger question. Are media figures like Piers Morgan helping audiences understand the complexity of this conflict? Or are they reinforcing a framework where criticism equals bigotry? And how should public figures like Dan Bilzerian raise concerns about Gaza without crossing lines that undermine their own argument? Drop your perspective below. And if you want more fact-based, democracy-first analysis that separates prejudice from policy debate, subscribe to Demo Newswatch.